Okay, we'll call the meeting to order for Wednesday, May 26th. We'll first take a moment of silent meditation and a pledge of allegiance. Please remember all the people in our protective services, and also remember that Monday is Memorial Day, because that should be honored by everyone for what them people gave. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, item number 3, approval of the minutes from the April 20th, 21 meeting. Is there a motion? Motion by Randy Young, seconded by Marvin Klosterman. Any questions, comments, or changes? Seeing none, then we can do this by acclamation. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Is there anyone in the back wishing to speak underneath item 4, public comment? Okay, seeing none, we will move right along. Item number 5, motion to deviate from the order of the agenda if necessary. Motion by Kevin Conrad, seconded by Devin Crejon. Any questions? If not, by acclamation again, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. We'll hold off on the chairman's report. Since I can deviate now, I'd like to deviate down to item number, where are we here? Item number 13, resolution number 27-21.
Amending the Articles of Organization and the bylaws of East Central Wisconsin Regional Planning Commission. Now therefore be it resolved by the Shawano County Board of Supervisors this 26th day of May 2021 that the resolution presented by the East Central Wisconsin Regional Planning Commission be approved. Be it further resolved that the Shawano County Board of Supervisors does hereby approve the revisions to the bylaws as more fully set forth in Exhibit A, which is attached in and incorporated by reference. And be it further resolved that the county board does hereby recommend that Article 3 of the articles describing the composition of the commission also be amended as more fully set forth in Exhibit B. And be it further resolved that the Shawano County Clerk be directed to forward a copy of the signed resolution to the Executive Director of the East Central Wisconsin Regional Planning Commission, submitted by Tom Kautza, Shawano County Board Chair.
Is there a motion to approve? Motion by Jerry Erdman, seconded by Gene Hoppy. The only reason I just have my name on there was to expedite it and keep moving it along, because it's actually East Central that is requesting this, and that's the way the other counties are doing it the same. Their chairperson is just presenting it to the board for their approval instead of running it through a committee. And today we have the Executive Director, Melissa Kramer-Badke, and she'll try and give you a little summary of what we're proposing to do and why she's here.
All right, good afternoon. Again, my name is Melissa Kramer-Badke. I'm the Executive Director at East Central Wisconsin Regional Planning Commission. I was recently appointed the Executive Director back in August of last year. With the commission, we're undergoing some changes. Last year, the board approved a reorganization plan to focus in on some core program areas of our regional comprehensive plan: transportation, economic development, and our water quality management program. As part of that reorganization plan, one of the things that was identified by our steering committee was to look at the potential removal of the gubernatorial appointments that we have here on the board. So in front of you, you had the information as it relates to the Articles of Organization and the bylaws. Both of these items need to be modified and revised based on our board composition. Board composition cannot be modified without resolutions from a majority of the local units of government within the region with a majority of the population. One of the reasons to remove the gubernatorial appointments and propose the changes that are in front of you today was just due to the cumbersome process of getting board appointees for the gubernatorial appointments. Included in your packet was the board composition. Currently, what it stands, we have 36 board members made up of our 8-member counties and supervisors and other appointees from each of the counties. And then also included in your packet were the revisions and what it would look like for Shawano County in terms of any changes. During our meetings with steering committee and the commission board, it was decided that for committees or counties that were smaller in size, such as Shawano County, that there would be a minimum of 3 board members, the county board chair and 2 county board supervisors moving forward with the removal of the gubernatorial appointment. On April 30th, the commission board unanimously approved a resolution to make this change. Again, we will have to work with all of the communities and local municipalities and the counties that are members of the commission in order to get all of the resolutions passed, and then with the majority of the population, and then this would take effect in terms of our board composition. If there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer those.
Okay. Should I sum it up real short for you, everybody, what we're trying to do? Okay. At the member counties of East Central, you get various numbers that you can appoint to the board based on your population. And we're only would be allowed 2 if we remove the governor's appointment. But then they bought it up, even one of the larger counties did. This came from one of the larger counties that foots a big amount of the bill for East Central, was upset, and they wanted it to be downsized. So they went through the process and they got back to more of the core things they have to do. And at the same time, we thought along with the downsizing, it might be easier, instead of having 36 commissioners, to have a few less, and to take the politics right out of it, because each county also gets 1 member that's appointed by the governor. And sometimes it takes forever to get the appointment from the governor's office. So we thought, what's the use to keep kind of struggling to find people for that and run that process through Madison? And they decided then, where she's saying to allow all the small ones to stay at 3, so we don't even lose a member. Our membership will still stay the same. We'll have 3 members sitting on the commission. Right now, it's me, Steve Geets, and 1 governor-appointed member, which was Chuck Dallas. His term was up and expired, and I didn't send any suggestions down because I knew this process was going on. The only thing it's really going to result for in Shawano County is a very, very small reduction in the revenue that we have to pay East Central. There's no fiscal note on it because it would be almost impossible to calculate it, because it's the way the whole East Central is financed, and you have to pay in based on, I believe it's your equalized value, Jerry? Yeah, is what your dues are then to be a member. So to go through that whole calculation, it's not worth the effort. But we're not losing any more control or anything at all. It's definitely a good thing to do. Anybody have any questions? Jerry?
Yeah, I'll back you up 100% on this. East Central has been terrific to work with while I was there for 10 years, but they go above and beyond and help the counties out. What we pay them, in my mind, has always been minimal for what service they do provide and help that they can give us, but this plan, the way it is now, in my mind, is the best one I've seen so far, with some of them downsizing, but Shawano County staying where it is. How can we lose? So it's something that, and knowing Missy, this is going to be a definite benefit for Shawano County again.
Any other questions or comments? Got Kathy Lubke up yet, Marvin.
I just want the way I'm reading it, so 2 from the county, and the way the third one, instead of the governor, would be basically from the city of Shawano, because that's our largest.
No. That's only that's where the thing comes, Kathy, to where you get the county board chairperson. Then when you reach a certain population, you get more members. When you reach another population level, you get the mayor of the largest city. We don't have that high of a population. So we're going to have the county board chairperson and 2 people from the county board appointed by the county board chair.
Okay, it's.
It
The way
gets-
it is, I'm reading this number B, that's crossed, some is crossed out and some's added, 1 elected official from the largest city or if.
So once a county reaches a population based on the U.S. decennial census of 50,000 or more, that would, instead of having that third county board supervisor appointment to the commission board, the mayor of the largest city would be then appointed to the commission board.
Okay, it's probably up
So,
above then, okay. all
nope,
right.
nope, it's a good question because there is a little bit of confusion in terms of how that worked, and we had to work with our corp counsel to get some of that language modified a little bit in there. So
Okay.
appreciate the question.
Thank you.
Okay. Marvin, do you have a question? Oh, okay. The other trick to this, in order to do this, it has to go through I believe all the counties have to adopt it? Okay. And now for anybody who is in here that's on a town board or a village board or city council, this will come to you either from the county or through East Central, because in order for this to happen, to get rid of the gubernatorial appointments, by the state statutes, the process you have to go through is all the counties have to adopt a resolution saying, member counties, that it's fine, go ahead and do that. Then you have to get a majority of all the municipalities in that county. A majority of the towns, villages, and everything. There has to be a majority of them, and there has to be a represented majority of the population. So this will be sent out to every one of them, and we have to push to get enough passed so we get the majority of the towns and villages and the city to pass it. And the city would be a big one, Sandy, for reaching the majority of the population. But today is just the first step for our county, and the other counties are all taking the first step at this too, and Calumet County has done it already, I believe, correct?
Yes, yep.
And
Calumet
they're
County is done.
moving on to the next level. So any other questions? Okay, seeing none, then if you are in favor of Resolution 27-21, you would vote yes. If not, you would vote no. Bill, yours still working? Okay, 25 yes, 0 no, with 2 absent, so the resolution has passed. Okay, thank you very much, Misty. And we'll get you a signed copy and go from there. Okay, then we will go back to the chairman's report. I figured we would go ahead and get Missy taken care of. She doesn't have to be bored with all of our other interesting stuff. So that one's done. Okay. Under the chairman's report, Jimmy has a thing laying on everybody's desk. We have our first payment in of the American Rescue Plan Act. We've got $3,972,075.50, and that's our amount to spend this year. Now, the next, along with that below, he's got kind of the guidance they have so far, but that seems to change, and it's pretty vague. So we don't know exactly in detail what the guidance is going to be in the end. We may find a little more out about that shortly. But as a board, the next step I think we have to do is we have to decide how we're going to spend the money. And I was going to put this on the agenda for the next executive committee to discuss it there, and then eventually bring back a recommendation to the board probably next month. And I would like to see the money used for things like future KIP projects, because the KIP fund is slowly getting low. He's got another one, Jimmy does, that shows you our sales tax revenue is way up. but the ATC money is dwindling. And if we use some of this money for things we know we're gonna have to do and they qualify, then we won't need to find that money in the future too. And that's one way of looking at it. I have one other item that I would like to bring up that I think we should definitely use the money on. And Gene has been working on this. And this isn't my idea, because I would never dream this up. This came from Peter Tillman from Skeppy. Gene has been working with NewCap to see if he can get them interested in the old Lakeland property. Now, Peter come up with this scenario. We can give, depending upon what the purchase price is, and they're looking to borrow a little money for remodeling work to make the buildings and that more suitable for themselves. We could give a chunk of this money to Skeppy, just say for an example, like $500,000, okay? If we give Skeppy $500,000 and we tell Skeppy to start a revolving loan fund with that money, and this is all gonna be determined, yet to be determined, Skeppy will then take that money, start its revolving loan fund, borrow it to NewCap. NewCap buys the property, and we can get a good chunk of our money right back to spend again. I know it doesn't make a lot of sense, but this is, remember, federal government at work. We got a big chunk of that money right back, and then Skeppy will receive payments from NewCap on the property. It's sold, we're free and clear, and then Skeppy gets to keep that money as it comes back in to establish our own revolving loan fund for the county. Now, that sounds awful complicated, but it's a pretty good idea, because the way it sounds that we can turn around and get the building sold because we're not getting a whole lot of interest right now in it. And I said to him yesterday, to Peter, then that the next step would be is we should sit down and have a meeting. And I know we do have it listed through other realtors right now, but at the speed that that's moving and happening, the next thing we have to do is we have to establish a price and then kind of what the terms are going to be and move on. And then I'm afraid in the end, we'll just tell the realtors, well, now here's the price that we are going to sell it for to them, and then settle with the realtors, because they haven't done hardly anything for quite some time. We're not getting any offers or anything. But I think that would be a good place to start using it. And Jimmy's got some other ideas, possibly for ways to do it. But if anybody has any thoughts or input on how we should do it, I don't think it's really right just to take that money and give all of that to the KIP fund and say, here you go, spend it. But that would be one way of handling a chunk of it, is to put it into the KIP fund. But remember, I believe that has to be spent this year. That money does. But we could do KIP projects that are sitting there and take that funding back from them and use some of this money to fund them projects. Then that money is still there in our accounts to use for other projects. And I'm really not sure what everybody would think of a good way of doing it. I don't think it justifies a special committee or anything like that to appoint one. But typically it's just finance. But, well, finance is gone and it's all part and all bundled together of the executive committee. So it would start there, I guess. And any suggestions anybody would have if they got a good idea of setting it up. And another idea that I had is Peter mentioned yesterday, if we can make it work somehow, there is a building in town that Peter thinks is very reasonably priced, and he thought it would be an excellent purchase for the county for a new library. Possibly that would work. But we should explore every avenue we can. That's why whoever's the chair of all the committees, take it to the committee and see what ideas they can come up with And if we do it as KIP projects, well, then maybe we'll put this money into KIP. Some of it, say $1 million, $1.5 million or whatever, and use it that way. Or use it just through the executive committee, and that's where I'm looking for emails and input from everybody of what you think would be a good way of doing it. So we're fair to all departments that, it's kind of limited right now, but I myself still think it's there, and they're telling us to spend it, and we really don't care. So with that, I guess I'll move on. Couple comments or questions on that, Jerry?
Yeah, quick one. I would echo what you're saying regarding the revolving loan fund, because years back, and this could be 7 to 10 years when I was on SCEPI board, we did have a revolving loan fund, and it was really good for the county. So yeah, if we could possibly set something up where we give out the money, but then get the money with interest back or whatever, it would help.
This wouldn't even be interest back, Jerry. It would come right back. If we were to sell the building to them for, say, $250,000, once the deal is done, we get it right back.
Yeah,
We
and
get the
that's
money
good.
back for selling the property, and SCEPI gets that money slowly in payments over time, and they can start reloaning that back out. And this
sounds
would be
good.
strictly a county venture. So we would have full control, and it would be for county businesses.
Sure. I'd be
So,
for that.
okay. Arlen Tober.
Yes, the other night I was at that Wisconsin Towns Association meeting in Navarino, and they were telling us down there that money don't have to be spent until the year 2024. It can spend it any time in between.
I may be wrong, Arlen.
That's correct, Arlen. 2024,
Okay.
but we will get another payment. We're scheduled to get another payment within 1 year of that date on that slide I gave you, which I think was 18 May. So we're supposed to get another payment within 1 year of that date. More guidance will come out as it relates to the do's and don'ts. That the Towns Association meeting, Wisconsin Counties Association, and the state are all very confused and pushing back with the federal government because the rules are so very difficult to figure out exactly what you can and cannot do. And there's some gray area as you get into this, and as you look at these committees and we get more of the rules. I do think that you're going to have to, number one, be willing to take a little bit of risk, and number two, operate in a gray area, because right now we don't have a lot of the rules. I do think, as Tom mentioned, that when regards to the committees, as we get these, the directors did come up with a list, what they thought, and that was actually before the rules came out. Honestly, what the directors thought, there was very little that we could use based off of what we knew at the time. So it's an evolving process. I think one of the good guidance things that the Towns Association gave was we do need to be patient with this. There's some things I think we could do right away based off the rules that we know them right now, but other things I think we do need to be patient. And as I understand, the rest of the funds for the townships and the villages and the cities are scheduled to arrive later this month to those organizations.
Okay. Sandy Stanky.
As you were talking about SCEPI, I was around when they did have the SCEPI and the revolving fund for the city and the county. There was both, which Aerocast got saved because of that venture, and it was a great program. There was lots of businesses in the town that used it. There was even some out of the city, it was in the county, that used some of this revolving money to get startups for their businesses. And I think it would be great, even if Newcap wants to buy this, to maybe even work with the city and getting infrastructure credits, things like that.
We
to help them.
had a meeting yesterday, me and Jimmy and Peter Tillman and can't say his name now, from MSA was there. Art Barr from MSA, he was hoping he could drum up a little business. I'm sure that's what Art was mainly there for, but that's their job. And the mayor and Eddie from the city. And they were trying to come up with various ideas too of projects and things that we can do together, say such as at the airport where it's jointly owned between the two of us, and to see if there's ways that we think we can work together to kind of leverage that for the benefit of everybody. And besides these KIPs, my other thinking is that everybody should try and keep in mind also, if there's some way we can use this money that would help us generate revenue in the future. That would be the ultimate, because then it's not just going to be spent, it's going to be spent, and it's going to continue to come back. Now, I haven't come up with any big ideas yet, but one small one would be, they're always saying about tourism, perhaps we give some of the money to Keith at Parks, because if I remember right, Kevin, wasn't he always saying how poor shape the snack house is out there? If we redo it now, it's better, neater, more convenient. Maybe that'll help the tourism end a little bit, and we generate a little more revenue from that angle of it. But we can talk all day on it, but I just wanted to bring that up. And like I say, give me emails and ideas and suggestions, and we'll take it up at the executive committee and see what we can kind of dream up from there of how we're going to handle it, or if we're going to just appropriate chunks here and there, or if each project has to come to a specific committee or home committee, or.
I like your Skeppy idea that it promotes businesses everywhere.
I told Peter to go ahead and start that one. That I'm quite sure that that one would pass, because if we can give them the money and we get it right back, and they end up with a loan and a revolving fund, that's almost too good to be true. Well, not really, because he's dealing with New Cap.
Yeah, but it's.
But it's being used. People are coming and going to work there, and that all generates more for the area. Okay, other than that, I'm not going to have a 2-hour report here again. Okay, Richard Furfecki.
Wouldn't we have to rescind the motion then? Because I believe there was a resolution written that money should have been put back in general fund from the sale of that property?
Jimmy has been looking that up and working on that, and I said to him the other day on the phone that we would have to talk with, I think Kathy was the one that was trying to make that motion at that time, and I don't remember if it passed or didn't pass, but that was all blended in there. We'll have to find that out, Richard, yeah.
Because there was some confusion that they made the resolution to put it in the general fund, and then they were kicking around the idea of that money had to go into general maintenance.
Yeah, but they'll find that out before this whole thing happens, but it's still, the money goes out and comes right back. So we're not out anything in this way. The only thing where it'd be questionable is, Peter said they were looking for more than just the purchase price, because they're gonna need to do some remodeling and renovation to get it up to par for what they want. But these are all things to be discussed yet. But, okay. We'll move on then. At the executive committee last month, the 3 months were up. So we decided to take the interim off from Jimmy's title and move him up to the administrative coordinator. And that decision was first made right there at the meeting, so we didn't have a resolution prepared in advance. That'll be one that'll come next month, because that has to get full county board approval to make it official. So you'll see that coming up next month. Corp Council, we're going to have interviews next Thursday at 1 o'clock. We have 2 good candidates we're going to interview. and we're gonna do them up at DHS. And with that in mind, this is the last meeting for Tom Martell, and I think we owe Tom a very great thank you for what he has done for the county in the meantime. He's working for us at a very reduced rate from what anybody else would charge. Not to pick on you, Tom, but I know some plumbers that charge more than what he's charging us right now. Which is, it's great.
And you wouldn't want me doing your plumbing, I'll tell you that.
So, thank you very much, Tom, for stepping forward. And we've got the interviews. Oh, and if you haven't noticed yet, we have a new website now. It's all the same to go to get there, but I was on it last night for a little while, and it looks to me like it will be a little more user-friendly, easier to find things and work its way through, but it's still got steps it's got to take before it's complete. So with that, let's move on. It's a nice day outside. Okay. Any reading of petitions or memorials? Have any, Kara? None? Okay. Item number 8, ordinance number 4-21, Kara?
Ordinance number 4-21, adopting the Town of Grant Comprehensive Plan Amendments. Now therefore be it resolved by the Shawano County Board of Supervisors in session this 26th day of May 2021 that it approves the revised Town of Grant Comprehensive Plan and incorporates said changes into the county comprehensive plan. The amendments can also be reviewed at the County Planning, Development, and Zoning Office and has been submitted by Ken Campelli, Kevin Conrad, Steve Geetz, Gene Hoppy, Kathy Lipke, Planning, Development, and Zoning Committee.
Is there a motion to approve? Motion by Arlen Tober, seconded by Steve Geetz. Steve, do you wish to speak, or do you want to defer to one of the?
Well, yeah, this is just their 10-year revisiting of their comp plan that they have to do by according to state ordinance or state statute, and they're just completed it now. Carrie worked with them for over a year, I think, on it.
Okay,
So if you have any questions, I think Carrie could answer them better than I could, so. And the
Okay.
following resolution is connected to this also, so.
this is the same thing. One's going to be the map and the next one. Okay. Does anyone have any questions or comments? Okay. Seeing none, then if you are in favor of ordinance number 4-21, you would vote yes. If not, you would vote no. $25 yes, 0 no, 1 absent, so the resolution has passed, or ordinance, excuse me. Then we are on to number 9, resolution number 23-21. Kara?
Resolution number 2321, approve amendments to the Town of Grant official zoning map. Now therefore be it resolved by the Shawano County Board of Supervisors in session this 26th day of May 2021 that it approves official zoning map amendments for the Town of Grant as follows. Change one parcel from agricultural residential zoning district to commercial community zoning district. Change one parcel from farmland and forest holding rural residential zoning districts to hamlet zoning district. Change 2 parcels from farmland and forest holding zoning district to hamlet zoning district. Change 9 parcels from rural residential zoning district to hamlet zoning district. And change 207 parcels from farmland and forest preservation zoning district to agricultural residential zoning district. A total of 220 parcels are included with this request, which will all be compliant with the town's comprehensive plan. Submitted by Ken Campelli, Kevin Conrad, Steve Geetz, Gene Hoppy, Kathy Lipke, Planning, Development, and Zoning Committee.
Is there a motion to approve? Motion by Gene Hoppy, seconded by Kevin Conrad. Any questions or comments? Basically, this is the same thing as the last one. It's just more paperwork that we got to run through. Okay, seeing none then, if you are in favor of resolution number 23-21, you would vote yes. If you are not, you would vote no. 26 yes, 0 no, 1 absent. I believe I read the last one wrong then to you. I said 25, which it should have been 26, because the same membership is here yet. Item number 10, resolution number 24-21. Kara?
Resolution number 2421 to approve text amendments to the Town of Westcott zoning ordinance. Now therefore be it resolved by the Shawano County Board of Supervisors in this session, this 26th day of May 2021, that it approves the text amendments to the Town of Westcott zoning ordinance. With regards to 285-10, definitions of adult-oriented establishment, 18.06.2, definitions, 285-27N, 6. Floodplain zoning ordinance, 285-E, 11. Fees, 285H, 2. Waste facilities, 18.09.8, non-conforming signs, 285-63, site plan, 285-76E, parking spaces, 285-85, terms of office, 285-94, violations, 285-98-100, fees. This has been submitted by Ken Capelli, Kevin Conrad, Steve Geets, Gene Hoppy, Kathy Lipke, Planning, Development, and Zoning Committee.
Motion to approve. Motion by Ken Capelli, seconded by Mark Boland. Is there any questions or comments on this one? Okay, seeing none, then I have a motion and a second to approve. If you are in favor, you would vote yes. And if not, you would vote no. Twenty-six yes, 0 no, with 1 absent, so the resolution has passed. Item number 11, resolution number 25-21. Kara?
Resolution number 25-21, approve a zone change for Hunter White. Now therefore be it resolved by the Shawano County Board of Supervisors in session this 26th day of May 2021 that it approves the zone change as follows. Z-4-21, Hunter White, agent for Navarino Estates LLC, owner, request zone change on 3 parcels of land totaling 100.76 acres in size from recreation, public open space zoning district to open lands agricultural and residential zoning district pursuant to the Shawano County zoning ordinance number 7-14 for the purpose of rezoning the land to a more compliant zoning district for the use of the land. Property is located and described as parcel 1, tax number 034-29310-0030, that part of the northeast quarter of the southwest quarter of section 29. Currently vacant land, parcel 2, tax number 034-29320-0000, the northwest quarter of the southwest quarter of section 29.
Is there a motion to approve? Motion by Kevin Conrad, seconded by, oh, sorry, excuse me, I'm getting ahead of the game. You just turned the page, there's more coming.
Got one more parcel. State 187 Highway and parcel number 3, tax number 034-30410-0000, the northeast quarter of the southeast quarter and north 66 feet of the southeast quarter of section 30. Property address N687 State 187 Highway, all in T25N R16 East, Town of Navarino, submitted by Planning, Development, and Zoning Committee.
Motion to approve, Kevin Conrad, seconded by Steve Geets. Is there any questions or comments? Do you wish to comment on it, Steve, or does Kevin want to? It's in his territory.
The ski hill property out there that hasn't operated for the last couple of years, so they want to rezone it. They planned on, or they're building a couple sheds out there that wasn't allowed with the with the former zoning, and this still allows them to open it back up as a ski hill if they do ever decide to open that back up again as a ski hill or sledding hill or tubing hill. But it allows them to a little more use of their property and build a couple sheds and stuff, so.
Okay, is there any questions or comments? Okay, seeing none, and if you are in favor of resolution number 25-21, you would vote yes. If not, you would vote no. Twenty-six yes, 0 no with 1 absent, so the resolution has passed. Moving on. Item number 12, resolution number 26-21.
Resolution number 2621, opposing proposed changes to wildlife damage abatement and claims program. Now therefore be it resolved by the Shawano County Board of Supervisors in session this 26th day of May 2021, opposes the proposed changes to the wildlife damage abatement and claims program through through Senate Bill 63 and Assembly Bill 49, which eliminates any local county control or oversight of the program and instead gives all authority to state government officials. Be it further resolved that the resolution be forwarded to the members of the state legislature, Governor Evers, and the Wisconsin Counties Association, the Wisconsin Land and Water Conservation Association, the Wisconsin Natural Resources Board, and the other counties of the state of Wisconsin. Submitted by Rick Giese, Marvin Klosterman, Devin Crejon, Joe Miller, Wayne Nitschke, Arlen Tobert, the Land Conservation Committee.
Is there a motion to approve? Motion by Richard Furfecki, seconded by Devin Crejon. Are there any questions or comments? Do you want to comment on it, Arlen? Oh,
Is this on? Oh, no,
Okay.
yeah. This come up before our last meeting, and we got a resolution like this from a different county. And I think there's 17 counties in Wisconsin that are still enforcing the program or running it. And the rest of them already changed over to the DNR. I don't know why, because the conservation committees from these other counties is running it pretty good, and we're running it very well, this program. And if anything would happen now, this legislature wants to change it over to the DNR running it. And if anything would happen, like an appeal, because the farmer or whoever's had the problem wants to challenge the DNR on that, instead of coming to the county committee and talking, they will be going to Madison. That's stated right in this resolution, to have a public hearing or something. And that's really going to put them out too. It's, and we'd like to see this program stay back here because it is working so good. We don't know why fix something when there isn't any problem.
money, Arlen.
So.
State will keep the
I
money then
agree.
too.
So,
Okay, is there any questions or comments? Anyone else? Okay, seeing none, then if you are in favor of resolution number 26-21, you would vote yes. If not, you would vote no. Gee, wake up. What? Oh, okay. 24 yes, 2 no, 1 absent, so the resolution has passed. Okay, item number 13, we completed already. Item number 14, resolution number 28-21. Kara?
Resolution number 2821, agreement between Shawano and Wapaka counties for the emergency mutual aid for continuation of child support services. Now therefore be it resolved by the Shawano County Board of Supervisors this 26th day of May 2021 that they approve the attached agreement with Wapaka County Child Services for a continuance of service plan submitted by the Executive Committee.
Is there a motion to approve? Motion by Kathy Lupke, seconded by Sandy Stanky. Jimmy, you want to sum it up a little bit, or?
This is really a standard agreement. If something happened here at the courthouse, that the services that our child support provides would continue through Wapaka and vice versa. So it's really, we're looking at taking care of each other.
And I believe, according to Courtney, we have the same type of agreement with Stockbridge, to where if something would happen to where their facilities are wiped out or no longer usable, we would let them work here along with our people in the meantime till they got theirs up and running. It's just mainly a good faith gesture between a few groups. Is there any other questions then on this? Okay, seeing none, then if you are in favor of resolution number 28-21, you would vote yes. If not, you would vote no. "26 yes, 0 no, with 1 absent. So the resolution has passed. Item number 15, the annual reports. We have the annual report for the Shawano County Sheriff's Department and the Shawano-Menominee County's Health Department. And as usual, if you have any questions or comments on them, they'll be placed on file. Otherwise, contact the department head, and they would be able to explain and answer them better than anyone else would. Item number 16, report by Finance Committee on general accounts and claims. Kara? You don't have to read every one.
To approve the GA in the amount of $1,368,483.90.
Is there a motion to approve? Motion by Kevin Conrad, seconded by Terry Tipton. Is there any questions or comments on any of the bills that were paid? Okay, seeing none, then if you are in favor, you would vote yes. If you are not, you would vote no. "26 yes, 0 no, and 1 absent, so the resolution has passed. Item number 17, special orders or appointments. We have one for the Board of Health/Veteran Service Committee to reappoint Sue Giese for another 3-year term to expire in April of 2024. Is there a motion to approve Sue's reappointment? Motion by Randy Young, seconded by Mike Wiesner. Is there any questions or comments? Okay, seeing none, I believe we can do this by acclamation then. If you are in favor of reappointing Sue Giese, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None opposed. So Sue is back in for another 3-year term. Item number 17, acceptance of committee minutes. Is there a motion to approve? Motion by Terry Tipton, seconded by somebody, okay, Bill Swatala. Is there any questions or comments? Okay, seeing none, I believe this should be voted on, isn't it, Jerry? Yes. It's not acclamation. It's an actual vote. Or has Pam got something different down?
It says voice vote.
Okay, well then we'll do it by acclamation. If you are in favor of approving the minutes, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, motion is carried. Item number 19, do we have any board member comments for new business to be considered at a future meeting? Joel Miller.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. At the last meeting, I questioned of whether or not there would be appointments made to the Ethics Committee. I see no movement yet, so I'm just keeping it on everybody's radar screen. It should be, those appointments should be made, that committee should be made whole. Number two, I'm asking that the email letter sent to Sheriff Adam Bieber and County Board member Jerry Erdman, March 26th, be furnished to all county board members as a matter of transparency. Not all of them saw it. Quite a few of them haven't seen it, to my knowledge. And for the record, I received it third hand. I don't know what ethical or common courtesy or whatever it should have been, but I should have not received that third hand. I had to hear it from outside people. When members of this administration had full knowledge of that letter. So I want to make that request, that that letter be furnished to all county board members. And for the record, again, as an elected official, a judge in the county who's an elected official, I disagree with that judge remaining presiding over a criminal court case that resulted in three felony charges being issued last Saturday on that defendant, because he has shown lenience, considerable lenience in the past, and should recuse himself based on that March 26th letter where he found there was not enough evidence there to issue a temporary restraining order. So we had to go outside to a court of competent jurisdiction to get that restraining order granted. Thank you very much, and I appreciate your audience. Thank you.
Okay. As I stated to you before, Joe, there's nothing here that I can find anybody else in anywhere that feels that it was threatening. And if it was, that's nothing to do with the Ethics Committee. The Ethics Committee is only of board members' actions. If we are doing something, breaking a law or county board rules, and there's been nobody appointed for the citizen members to the Ethics Committee because there hasn't been any complaints. I don't think there was, I can't remember a complaint. I've been here a little over 9 years now on the board, and I don't remember there being any.
Well, Mr. Chair, I did not know who to turn to.
Yeah.
So you have to please understand that.
Yep.
I'm only in my third year here, and I didn't know who to turn to, and I thought it was, because the chairman of the county board was the second person I notified. I felt it was my responsibility, and Tom already knew about it, Jimmy Devil already knew about it, so that is why I was being transparent and notifying and did not know where to go with it. So thank you. I understand your concern. You do not need to repeat yourself. I understand it. Thank you.
Jerry, you got something to bring up?
Yeah, in the fact with the Ethics Committee, quite honestly, I see it a good thing that we don't have it right now because, yeah, it deals with county board. So if we're all behaving ourselves, why worry about the Ethics Committee? It just deals with us. And in all honesty, with this letter, I'm getting old, but I don't remember the letter, but it couldn't be that bad. I've received, in my tenure where you're sitting, Tom, I don't know how many letters that they were going to get me one way or another. Well, guess what? I'm still here.
Well, when I get them, I read them for entertainment.
Yeah.
Well, say what you wish, Joe, but to me, it's just entertaining. Deb Nofke.
There used to be a plethora of ethics complaints until, Jerry had a bunch of them, my dad did, I have, until I started reading the things, because we had a nutcase former sheriff. And I started reading the rules, and it's the subject of the complaint that is the one that determines whether it's confidential or not. And I decided that it was not confidential, and the press got it, every board member that wanted a copy got it, anybody that walked into the store got it. And since then, once people realized that all their little dirt that they tried to come and accuse people of could become out there in the public, and you'd have to own up to what you said. I don't think we've had any ethics complaints since then. It used to be a manner of harassing another board member that you didn't like. And it's a very good thing that it's done for. And that's all I've got to say on that. Jerry's smiling, he remembers.
And it's not done for it. It's still there. But there's no use of going through the motions of appointing anybody when
Yeah, and
there is nothing to bring up. If something would come up, well, then we would get some members appointed
it's
to the
really
public.
supposed to be for cases of wrongdoing. And I think we've actually got a fairly squared away board.
Yep.
You know, not used as a manner just to harass somebody, which is what it had
Right.
been.
Or if I would try and get Carrie to start making me out more checks now to myself. I guess
Right.
that would be an issue for the ethics committee then.
Right, that type of thing would be.
Right.
But just because
It's
you don't
about
like
us.
somebody isn't an ethics
It's about
complaint.
us and our conduct,
Right.
so. Okay.
And it's the subject of the complaint that can decide to take that complaint and make it open to the public.
Okay. Randy Young.
But who makes that determination then? If there's not an ethics committee, if I have a complaint for whatever or against whoever, without the ethics committee, who's making that determination then, whether or not it's a valid complaint?
I determined that there was nothing to do to move it on, to forward it. It would go to Corp Council. I was advised by Tom that there's nothing there that he can see that is threatening.
Yeah, okay, I'm not talking about any specific issue. I'm talking in
Yep.
general. So if I have an issue, I have to go through you first?
It would
and
go
then
to Corp Council.
And they would
And
decide
then
whether or
Corp
not it's
Council
an
would,
ethics
Corp
committee?
Council would move it along, and there's a whole process that they have to go through to follow.
So Corp Council is the first step?
Yep.
Okay.
And when Tom said there was nothing there in this instance, and the sheriff's department couldn't find anything threatening in this instance, what am I supposed to do?
Okay, I was
I don't
talking
know.
in general though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, any other board members?
Mr. Chairman, I would just clarify, the ethics code has, it's not just generally ethics in terms of what one person thinks is ethical of another
Turn your mic on,
person.
Tom?
Oh, I'm sorry. We're not talking ethics just in a general sense of one person thinking another board member is not ethical. There's specific instances of ethical violations. They primarily deal with conflicts of interest, receiving funds improperly. And so there's definitions of what an ethics violation is within the ethics code. And then if someone would have a complaint, it would be forwarded to the Corp Council, and then the Corp Council would then review it and make a determination as to whether it was referred then to Ethics Committee for further action would be the process on how that would work. So it would have to fall within the definition of an ethics violation as defined in the Ethics Code for the Ethics Committee to have jurisdiction over the complaint. There's also every employee who works for the county has to complete a disclosure that inquires into various outside transactions that they have, business entities that they have. Do they conduct business with the county? That could be another basis on which something would be referred to the Ethics Committee if someone indicated an affirmative response to these employee questionnaires. An employee could then be referred to Ethics Committee as to whether that employee could continue, for example, a business relationship with the county, or whether it was a conflict of interest with their employment.
Okay. A perfect example of what the Ethics Committee would deal with, if anybody's got any questions left yet, would be like when I was chairman of the Highway Committee, and Grant and the county repaved Z from Anawa over to Mattoon. If I'd have been over there beating on Grant's door, trying to sell him gravel from one of our pits, that would be definitely a conflict of interest and a big no-no on my part. Then the Ethics Committee would be involved. But I'm smart enough to stay away from anything like that because I don't want to get that started. And we have no issues yet.
Right, I understand. I was wondering what the process was. So,
Yep.
thank you.
Okay, Randy. Sandy?
I just have a question. A lot of people now with the old Maple Lane being closed, and I know we still run the utilities out there. Are there going to be plans to sell this? Are we going to be liable for giving the new owner anything, or, I mean,
We have, they have it listed right now, and we have a date coming up to where we may be able to be out of the utility business. But we're not 100% sure yet, and we gotta wait for that date to pass first. And then the DNR, after a certain period of time, may make us shut the stuff down. So we're kind of in a waiting game yet with
okay,
that.
I know the ponds out there, they were
Yep.
very gray area as far as how it needed to be taken apart.
Right, and that, them type of things would all be determined by the DNR, because that's who has the set of rules and regulations that has to be followed.
Okay, because I know somebody said that would be a great deal of money to do stuff like that.
It may be, yeah, but Steve is working with them right now, and we do get contact back and forth from the DNR, Public Property does, of what has to be done and how it has to be done. And we had to even go through and do special things just for the water system, because you can't just leave it set there idle. So one of the things was this winter, there was a problem. We had to pump a certain amount of water to keep everything from freezing.
Okay.
So that's all being handled through with the DNR. And when that date passes, then we'll have a few decisions to make.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, okay. Deb Nofke.
Just addressing Sandy's question is, I'm on public property, and we definitely are in agreement that if there was a purchaser for Maple Lane, you know, you would like to see that get back on the tax rolls, or at least utilized, something done with it, that we would definitely be open to selling the utility, probably very cheaply if it would help someone else's sale. City want it? Come to public property.
Yep,
Make an offer.
we'll make you a real deal.
Make an offer.
But I don't think you want to match the price tag that they want, because Peter told me what it was yesterday, but it's way out there for what they're trying to get out of it, but, well, whatever.
But we are open to
Yep.
having that go with the parcel if that would make the difference between a sale or not, just because that's fine, you know. Right.
Okay. Arlen Tober.
Yes, I was just wondering if there's any kind of an update to our solar farm out there?
Steve
or-
hasn't heard anything yet, and I haven't either, Arlen, and I was gonna send her an email just to see if, kind of what was happening, what was going on now. And the last I had heard, and this is some time ago, is they still have to see and get the blessing of the organization, I'm not sure exactly who it is, that regulates like the main transmission lines, of if they can add that in or if not. So, nothing big to add yet, no. John?
Just another point on that issue. There has been an offer made to some other property owners who are near the line and near a substation within the county. So there's still some interest beyond this one.
Yeah, and that's what I assume that they're working at, and that's what I was gonna poke around a little bit now that a few months have passed and see if they're getting any more signed agreements or not, or if I even get any kind of response. So, we just kinda gotta wait and see. Okay, all right, no one else, good, we beat that to death. Then, item number 20. Claim report, County Board Supervisors mileage and per diem. Kara? I think our computer went on strike.
All right, I have a claim for per diem and mileage for $2,348.72.
Is there a motion to approve? Motion by Kathy Lubke, seconded by Bill Spatala. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, then if you are in favor of getting paid for today's meeting, you would vote yes.
So it was, who's the motion?
I don't know, it was showing me that Milt, do you want to speak? No? Okay, I'll clear them all.
I got it back to the motions.
Okay, she's got it back up here.
So who was the motion? First motion?
Motion was by Kathy Lubke. Bill Spatala seconded. All right, so if you are in favor, you would vote yes. If not, you would vote no.
What happened?
Okay. 24 yes, 2 no, 1 absent. You still get your per diem, Joe.
We'll take care of Joe and Rick. We'll make sure they still get paid.
Okay. Were you looking to speak, Jerry?
There's got to be something wrong with that chair up there.
Why?
That chair always is the one that's got to vote to doggone get paid
Oh,
for 10 years.
yeah, I wasn't looking that way, but that's where the motion's always supposed to come from history, I guess. Okay. Item number 21, next meeting date, June 23rd, 2021 at 3 PM. And item number 22, motion to adjourn by Joe Miller, seconded by Kimberly Leffel. Everybody raises their hand for that one, just about. If you are in favor of adjourning, vote aye. If you are not, you would vote no. Okay.